Your voice can start a war. It can build trust, destroy relationships, inspire millions, or make someone feel invisible. By the end of this video, you'll understand why some voices instantly command attention, while others disappear into the background. You'll see the hidden habits that make people stop listening, and the psychological signals that make human speech powerful. Because this isn't just about sounding confident, it's about influence, connection, trust. And in a world drowning in noise, being heard has become a survival skill. We live in the loudest period in human history. Every second, someone is uploading a video, starting a podcast, posting an opinion, fighting for attention. Everyone is talking. Almost nobody is listening. And because of that, conversation has quietly become performance. People don't speak to connect anymore. They speak to dominate, to impress, to defend themselves, to win. Which creates a strange paradox. The harder people try to be heard, the less anyone wants to listen, and this starts showing up in tiny ways. Someone constantly complains, someone exaggerates every story, someone turns every discussion into judgment. Someone speaks with so much negativity that the room physically feels heavier. You've met people like this. Maybe you've been that person. We all have. But here's what's dangerous. Most destructive speaking habits don't sound destructive at first. They sound normal. The 7 speaking habits that destroy attention. 1. Gossip. The moment someone gossips to you, your brain immediately asks a question. What do they say about me when I leave? Trust collapses instantly, because gossip doesn't just attack absent people. It destroys psychological safety, and humans stop listening when they stop feeling safe. 2. Judgment. Nobody opens up around someone who constantly evaluates them. The human nervous system can detect judgment incredibly fast. A raised eyebrow, a dismissive tone, a sarcastic laugh. And once people feel judged, they stop hearing your words. They start defending themselves from you. 3. Negativity. Negativity spreads faster than logic. Psychologists call this negativity bias. The brain is naturally drawn toward threats and problems, which means negative people can dominate attention temporarily, but eventually exhaust everyone around them. Because constant negativity turns conversation into emotional pollution, and nobody wants to breathe polluted air forever. 4. Complaining. Complaining feels productive, but most complaining is emotional looping. No solutions, no action, just repeated helplessness. And over time, people begin associating your voice with emotional drain. That's when they stop leaning in and start tuning out. 5. Excuses. Some people carry what psychologists call an external locus of control. Nothing is ever their responsibility. Everything is someone else's fault. And eventually, their words lose weight, because accountability creates credibility. Without responsibility, speech sounds hollow. 6. Exaggeration. We live in the age of exaggeration. Everything is insane. Everything is life-changing. Everything is unbelievable. But exaggeration creates inflation. When every sentence is extreme, nothing feels meaningful anymore. And slowly, people stop trusting language itself. 7. Dogmatism. This might be the most destructive one, confusing opinions with facts. Because the moment someone speaks like they already know everything, conversation dies. No curiosity, no openness, no discovery, just ego defending identity. And here's the irony. The people most certain they're right are often the hardest people to listen to. But underneath all of this, there's a deeper truth most people miss. Human beings don't actually listen to words first. They listen for intention. Before your brain even processes language, your nervous system asks, "Can I trust this person?" That's why some people can speak softly and still command a room, while others shout and get ignored. Powerful speaking was never about sounding dominant. It was about making people feel safe enough to listen. And the people who master this usually stand on 4 invisible foundations: honesty, authenticity, integrity, and love. Not romantic love, human goodwill. Because it's almost impossible to deeply listen to someone who genuinely wishes you well. And it's almost impossible to hate someone while truly wishing them well. That changes everything. Suddenly, communication stops becoming performance and becomes connection. How to speak so people actually listen. 1. Lower the need to impress. The more desperately someone tries to sound intelligent, the less trustworthy they often appear. People trust congruence, not perfection. Speak to communicate, not to perform. 2. Use vocal depth. Research consistently shows that humans associate lower, grounded voices with authority and stability, not because deep voices are better, but because calm vocal resonance signals safety. When people get nervous, their voice rises, breathing shortens, speech speeds up. The solution isn't forcing a deeper voice, it's slowing down enough for your natural voice to settle into your chest, into your body, into confidence. 3. Master silence. Most people are terrified of silence, so they fill every gap with, like, anyway. But silence is power. A well-timed pause forces attention. It creates anticipation, emotion, weight. The best speakers in the world understand this. Silence is not empty. Silence is psychological gravity. 4. Change your prosody. A monotone voice slowly numbs the brain, because emotion lives in variation, pitch, rhythm, cadence, energy. Your voice is music, and people emotionally respond to melody long before logic. That's why storytelling works. Not because stories contain information, but because they contain emotional movement. 5. Warm up your voice. Athletes warm up before performance. Musicians warm up before concerts. But most people walk into important conversations completely unprepared, even though their voice determines first impressions, confidence, and emotional impact. Simple breathing, lip trills, tongue rolls, vocal sirens, tiny exercises, massive difference. Because your voice is physical, not just psychological. Right now, the world is full of noise. People interrupting each other, broadcasting constantly, fighting to be noticed. But the people who truly change lives usually sound different. They speak with clarity, with intention, with presence. And most importantly, they make people feel heard. Because powerful communication was never just about the voice. It was about consciousness. How you speak, why you speak, and what your words make other people feel. A single sentence can heal someone. A single sentence can destroy trust forever. That's how powerful this instrument really is. And once you understand that, you stop using your voice just to be loud. You start using it to mean something.